I'm Barry Tramel, and I say a great game, but no upset in the Ozarks this Saturday.
It's a huge one, though. Alabama and Arkansas. From the Opubco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson. News OK's Press Row is sponsored by Eskridge Lexus. Stop in and see them today. Barry, this is a great SEC game on Saturday. Alabama going to Arkansas. Not too many people picking an upset, but this has the earmarks to be a really good game.
Well, it's a fascinating matchup. It's going to be wild in the Ozarks. First top 10 game. Two teams in the top 10 in Fayetteville in 31 years, since 1979, the Lou Holtz era. So they're going to be jacked up at Razorback Stadium. Alabama's playing unbelievable football, clearly playing the best of any team in America. But Arkansas, Ryan Mallett, he's got the big arm. They've got a big road win at Georgia. This is a legitimate team at Fayetteville. I think Bama's going to win, but I think it's going to be tight. Yeah,
that game last week, Arkansas pulling out the squeaker at Georgia. What heroics. Get the ball back with essentially a minute on the clock and go down and score. And Georgia's feeling great about their comeback in that game. So Arkansas's got to be feeling really good about where they are right now. And Ryan Mallett is legitimate. I think he's going to play well on Saturday. But I like Alabama in this game. This is a team that's been through tough road games in the SEC, tough games in the SEC period. Ran the table last year. I think that they go down there and win. I think it's going to be a great game, but I see them winning by double digits, but I could also see it being a lot closer than that, sort of a late score that maybe pushes them to that point. Some other really good games this weekend, Barry. Stanford goes to Notre Dame. Stanford a slight favorite, but this is kind of an interesting game.
It's a fascinating game. Stanford playing lights out, just completely took apart Wake Forest, took apart UCLA. We saw Stanford in the Sun Bowl last year, but they didn't play with Andrew Luck, their quarterback. Phenomenal quarterback. Stanford is putting itself into Rose Bowl talk. They go to South Bend, though, where the Irish are a little bit smarting. And, I sort of think Brian Kelly will have the Irish ready for the upset. Stanford, I expect to fall from the unbeaten ranks.
Yeah, I agree. I think Notre Dame wins this game. I like the way Notre Dame's headed. I thought that game last week, that was an instant classic with Michigan State going with the fake field goal in overtime. Fantastic call by them and just a great win by the Spartans. But I think Notre Dame is headed in the right direction. Don't think they're, one of those top 10 type of teams just yet in consideration for greatness right away. But I do think we're seeing signs of improvement by Notre Dame. I like them to beat Stanford on their home field. Here's another game down in the South, Barry. South Carolina at Auburn. A couple teams that I think are pretty decent, maybe not super fantastic, but this could be a pretty good ball game.
South Carolina's actually got a shot at doing some noise in the SEC East. South Carolina's never finished in the top 10, never made the SEC title game. This is their best chance. Steve Spurrier really has the ball team playing. It's always tough to win on the road in the SEC, though. We saw Arkansas do it at Georgia. We saw Auburn do it at Mississippi State. I think it's going to be tough for South Carolina to get it done at Auburn, though. So I think Auburn in a close one.
Yeah, Auburn. I really like this Cam Newton guy. He had a little bit of a hiccup, or worse, if you want to say, at Florida. Ended up transferring, ended up at Auburn. Big guy at that quarterback position. Really seems under control to really be commanding things there for Auburn. I really like Auburn in this game, but I wouldn't expect a real high score out of either of these teams. This sets up to me to be a really sort of traditional SEC type of matchup. Lastly, Barry, let's talk about a game involving another SEC team, LSU, but they're hosting West Virginia. This is going to be, I think, a lot of speed on the field, but West Virginia's been kind of up and down and all over the place. How do you see this one shaking out?
Both teams disappointing. They're not happy with that LSU offense down in Baton Rouge. West Virginia lucky to be unbeaten. Should have lost to in-state rival Marshall. Bill Stewart really hasn't, as charming as he is, as much as we loved him during that Fiesta Bowl, he really has not captured the West Virginia fan base. I think LSU gets it done and whacks West Virginia pretty good.
Yeah, I like LSU in this one too. And for whatever reason, LSU has a tendency from time to time to make games that they should win pretty easily into close ones. But I like them to win this game. I think West Virginia's they don't seem to have sort of a center to them. And so I question going on the road in hostile environments like LSU. That's going to be a tough go. I like LSU in that game as well. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman. Remember, News OK's Press Row is brought to you by Eskridge Lexus. Stop in and see them today.